everything in her arsenal.
Well, she's not going to overpower a lot of hitters. She's going to throw in the mid-60s, so not as much speed, obviously, coming from what we saw from Pickens yesterday, but she is going to move the ball all over the zone. She has that rise, drop, changing the eye levels, but also a nasty, nasty changeup. And even Pickens says it. She's got some dirty stuff.
Head coach Karen Weekly says she is hard to square up as a pitcher. She also has her strikeout per 7 innings is top 10 in the country. Marjeko averaging 9.5 Ks per game. That's the best in the SEC and also the best on this pitching staff. Rip back at Gibson off of the bat of Kennedy. And just like that, a quick out for the Lady Vols defense.
If there's any way to start a game saying hello, what a hit from Kennedy Powell. But there's Coco Woolley. She had the game-winning hit yesterday. And when she is on it, this team does a lot better.
First pitch to Woolley comes in low in the zone for ball 1. The hero of the game yesterday came up clutch, top of the 7th, and brought home that leadoff hitter Kennedy Powell, the 1 run in the game in game 1. Upstairs high for ball 2 from Marjeko. Marjeko just pitched this past weekend in their series against Ole Miss on Sunday. She got the start, went 3 innings, allowed 1 hit and 3 walks. Shot over to right field, going back is Clark, but she misses it. Woolley rounding second, going to third, and that will be a stand-up triple for Coco Woolley.
Coco Woolley is definitely feeling herself because since going 0 for 14, she has now got the hot bat. This is a big hit. That pitch ripped over to right field. And that's a tough play. Emma Clark, she decided to dive on that. And that's so tough to do as an outfielder when you play on the corner, because the second you lose your feet and you're on that ground, you know no one is backing you up, especially when you're a right or left fielder.
Marjeko comes right back at Maya Perez with first pitch strike. Perez with a team leading .438 batting average coming into today, as she takes a changeup for strike 2, quickly behind in the count 0-2.
Well, you can tell Texas A&M right off the bat, they are being super aggressive, and I think that's so smart, especially when you're going against a pitcher like Marjeko, because she has a lot of junk. She's going to start messing you, especially when she gets ahead in counts.
3 quick strikes on Maya Perez, and Marjeko gets her first strikeout of the game, 2 outs.
And that's what she's going to do. She is going to try to get the Aggies to swing out of the zone. You saw that she got ahead on Perez 0-2, and that's when she can start playing around with their pitches, and they start naturally, well, they are out of the zone, but they come through and look like they're in there.
Another first pitch strike for Mac Barbara, coming into today, hitting .375 in the 4-hole. Transfer out of San Diego State University, 6th-year player. Ground ball over to first. Gibson will catch a foul. Barbara 1 for 3 yesterday, making her 3rd start behind the plate. Has not caught a lot for Texas A&M this season, but because Olivia Johnson's out with an injury, she's starting behind the plate. She fouls this one back. Still 0-2.
And that's always tough, because you got to think the battery is so important here in softball, and Barbara having to step in and become that new role, that new catcher, especially in this part of the season.
Been hitting the ball well, 8-game hitting streak. Dribbles this one over, Marjeko charges, flips it over to 1, and gets the out. So despite a triple by Coco Woolley, Lady Vols able to escape the threat. We head to the bottom of the 1st when we come back. Getting the start today for Texas A&M in the circle, senior right-hander Emily Levitt, making just her 6th start of the season. She likes to change eye levels to her batters.
Yeah, she is going to work up in the zone, also go low with her screw, but she's going to throw mid to the upper 60s, so she does have quite a bit of speed, but I think the start here is very interesting. But I do like the call because, again, Tennessee will prep for this game, and they probably thought either Sparks was going to be in the circle or one of their other pitchers as well, but I think maybe this was also a little bit of a surprise for them.
Texas A&M certainly turning to the rest of their staff after Emily Kennedy went the distance yesterday. First pitch to Kinsey Fiedler comes in as a ball. Lady Vols will try to get things going with Fiedler on top. 3 freshmen in the lineup here as they try to bounce back after getting just 1 hit yesterday. Fouled back. That will bring the count 1-1.
Yeah, that 1 hit coming from Morgan. She's now hitting in the 2-hole. She was down towards the end of the lineup yesterday, but coming into that 2-hole, I like the call from Coach Weekly. At the end of the day, whoever has the hot bat and can see the ball, hit the ball, that's who's going to be in this lineup.
You want them to get the most at-bats, most looks at these pitchers. Strike 2. Levitt came in relief this past Saturday in Texas A&M series against Arkansas. She pitched game 2, went 2 2/3 innings, allowed just 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Again, just her 6th start of the season. Goes outside for ball 2. Fiedler 0 for 4 yesterday. But coming into this weekend was riding a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .377. Ball 3, that will bring the count full. And that's going to hit her on that back elbow. So a free bag for Kinsey Fiedler, and Lady Vols with 1 aboard.
And this is where Tennessee needs to take advantage, where they struggled yesterday. They had some hit batters, they had some walks, and they just weren't able to get any runs across the board. So they need someone to step up in these moments and get these runners across.
Tennessee drew 8 walks yesterday, left 8 runners on base. Certainly an emphasis, you would imagine, coming into this doubleheader today. Take advantage with runners on the bags, and especially in scoring position. That will bring up the 2-hole hitter, a freshman left fielder, Sophia Morgan, who had that lone hit yesterday for the Lady Vols. Shows bunt, pulls back. Morgan also extending her hit streak yesterday to 7 straight games. So as a freshman, just seeing the ball very well. Hit .500 this past weekend in their series against Ole Miss. No wonder Coach moved her up in the lineup. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes strike 1.
I think part of this is also a strategic move by Coach Weekly to put Morgan here in the 2-hole. You're adding a lot of speed at the top of this lineup. And if you have a team that is struggling at the plate right now, you want to figure out how to score runs in multiple ways, and that's going to be stealing bases, get the extra 60, drop those bunts down, whatever you may need, and I feel like that's why Morgan is here in the 2-hole.
Offensive execution is something that head coach Karen Weekly talked to us about on our weekly phone call. That next step that takes them to the postseason, she says, we feel like we know our offensive identity, but playing that small ball, that execution and embracing it, that is what will make the difference with them in the postseason, and they're getting close to that. We saw a handful of small ball yesterday from both teams. Couple sacrifice bunts, also bunt for singles, but Coach Weekly saying she likes the identity of this team. They've gotten there now throughout the season, but taking that next step with a small ball game.
This is a team, too, that took so long to find their starting lineup. It's a lineup that still is getting mixed around. We just talked about it from today or yesterday to today of how some people have already switched up. But it's a team also that everyone has the opportunity and chance and could step up in big moments.
Ball 4. So Sophia Morgan will take the free bag. That will be back-to-back free bases for the first two hitters for the Lady Vols. The hit by pitch to Fiedler and then the walk to Morgan. Certainly not the way that Emily Levitt wanted to start this game.
And you saw right away, Barbara decided to come out from her crouch and come out there, and she's talking to her team right now. Just wants to settle down her pitcher. But it looks like also Coach Ford is going to make a visit out to the circle as well.
Texas A&M head coach Tricia Ford in her 3rd year with the Aggies after coming over from a successful stint from Arizona State. Back-to-back NCAA regional appearances, and then last year made their first trip to Supers since 2018.
And that was a team that actually beat Texas. And let's remember, Texas played in the championship series against Oklahoma in Oklahoma City at the Women's College World Series. So this team is tough. And the fact that they're able to do that, I felt like was just a big turning point for these players on this team.
13 returners from that Texas A&M team from last year that made it to Supers, but also 14 newcomers for the Aggies, including 9 true freshmen, 2 in the starting lineup today. First pitch to Taylor Panel in the dirt for ball 1. Panel 0 for 4 yesterday. A rare struggle at the plate for the most dangerous bat on the team. She still has a team leading 425 coming into today. Ball 2.
And you see Levitt right now throwing a lot of off speed. She went back to back against Panel. That is how dangerous of a hitter she is.
Leads the team with 15 home runs. Ball 3. Tied for 6th most home runs in the SEC. Was also just named a finalist for the USA Softball Player of the Year award, along with her teammate, right-hander Carlin Pickens. Take strike 1. That will bring the count 3-1.
One thing Panel's been really focusing on this year is not allowing her last at-bat to affect her next one. And this could be a testament to how she played yesterday, went 0 for 4, and then today stepping up and getting a hit.
Panel rips towards left field. Coach holds Fiedler at third, but now we will have the bases loaded as Taylor Panel comes up with the single.
And I love that Panel didn't try to do too much there. That is a pitch on the inside corner, and she just squared it up, hit it right into left field. But this is the type of hitting that they were missing yesterday. Now they have bases loaded, and this is really a chance to break it open.
Bases loaded with McKenna Gibson, their senior veteran 4-hole hitter at the plate. This time is called. Gibson coming into today hitting .327. She drew 3 walks yesterday, so wasn't able to square it up, but reached base 3 times for the Lady Vols. It's been here all 4 years on Rocky Top, a 2-time All-SEC first-teamer, also an NFCA second-team All-American from 2023. Coach Weekly calls her the wise old owl. A lot of veteran experience, and this is a big veteran moment for the senior. First pitch, strike. Fouls back, strike 2. So Emily Levitt able to get ahead in the count on Gibson, 0-2.
And you could tell on that swing, McKenna Gibson was right on it. And this is a check-in right now just with the umpire. Looks like he possibly got hit in the ribs with that foul ball.
Yeah. Not always fun coming off the bat. Any sort of deflection doesn't really take away the sting, does it?
And those are almost worse because you don't know that they're coming.
Our umpires today, Dawn Brown behind the plate, so we're hoping Dawn's okay. Chelsea Clark, the first base umpire, and Phil Freeze at third. So Gibson gets a small piece of it, but doesn't look like it slashed him on that side. So hoping Dawn Brown with a big smile on his face. He's ready to go, and so are we. 1-2 pitch to Gibson. Outside ball 2. all three. That will bring the count full now to McKenna Gibson.
You could tell on that pitch, Levitt thought she had it, and it was a very good off speed. I love the decision there. She's going to throw that changeup in any count.
The payoff pitch. Gibson with a blooper towards short, coming, diving for the catch is Woolley. Great play by the shortstop, Coco Woolley, to get the first out.
What a play by Woolley over there at shortstop, but this pitch jamming up McKenna Gibson on the inside corner. Woolley actually having to kind of bump into Morgan there over at second base and get around that, and what a dive.
Great play by the shortstop. And that was a big out, even though it was a pop-up. Getting Gibson out however you can is always a big thing for a defense. It looks like the umpires will take a quick meeting to discuss that pop-up. What could they be potentially talking?
They could be talking about the contact that Woolley had to make with Morgan over at second base. Whether she got in the way of it, but she ended up making the play.
Whether it was a clean catch or not?
There's also the argument here about infield fly,
right?
But that wouldn't really
be in effect. Let's take another look at this one. I mean, it was a beautiful play, so it's definitely worth another watch. She had to come a long ways. Also, the runner at second, which was Sophia Morgan, it almost looked like she came into contact with her, but avoided her at the last second. So one down, bases still loaded, and that will bring up the catcher, Sophia Nugent, to the plate. Nugent takes first pitch strike from Levitt. Inside, ball one. Nugent coming into today hitting .301. A lot of power, second on the team in home runs with 11. Also swinging a hot stick, 3 for 8 in this past weekend, 0 for 2 yesterday. Another meeting from Coach Ford, maybe to try to break up the momentum a little bit for the Lady Vols. Tennessee left 8 runners on base yesterday. Just wasn't able to come up with that clutch hit. Now with bases loaded here in the bottom of the first, you have to believe, even though it's so early in this game, Faith, that this is a huge moment that the Lady Vols are hoping to capitalize on, especially when you have the meat of your lineup up.
Yeah, specifically since yesterday, this team struggled so much offensively. If you can just get that momentum going, it's also going to help out Sage Margetko in the circle. She's going to be able to pitch a lot more free and know that her team can score some runs.
1-2 count now to Sophia Nugent. Since giving up the 2 free bags to start this inning, Levitt has done a nice job getting ahead on the previous 2 hitters. Nugent rolls one over to short. Woolley with a flip over to third, but the speedy Sophia Morgan is safe, and the Lady Vols get the first run of the game. Lead 1-0.
And Woolley doing a good job of going to get that ball. I'm actually surprised she wasn't playing up in the infield a little bit more. That ball on the outside corner, Nugent actually just kind of stuck her hand out. Woolley playing back, so they had to have the thought that they were going to try to go for the double play or just go for the easy bag out and not go for the run at home. But when you have a speedy Morgan, that's practically a foot race when you're coming down.
And Morgan won the foot race as Lady Vols take a 1-0 lead. First pitch to Gabby Leach comes in as a strike. Leach was Not in the lineup yesterday, so making her first start of the weekend in this series. Coming into today hitting .286, just a sophomore. Strike two.
I love it, really feeling like she is settling in here. She's starting to get ahead on these hitters where she was falling behind early, but doing a lot better here, getting in front.
Takes the ball outside, bringing count 1 and 2. So still bases loaded for Tennessee. And one down, just the pop-up from Gibson. Leach trying to break through here, extend the lead. Outside, ball 2. You can see there she took a couple steps in the box, trying to slap it. Very versatile hitter as well. Hit for power, slap something somewhere, also the small ball. Leach pops this one back foul. Leach comes from a big family of softball studs. Her twin sister Alana is on the team, came in as a fielder yesterday, and then also they are the younger sisters of Aubrey and Kelsey Leach, all playing for the Lady Vols. Outside, ball 3, that will bring the count full. Middle infielders and corners, a couple steps in from the baseline. Their slapper position, getting ready to go home if they need to. Payoff pitch. Rips this one towards right center. Calling for it is Enright. She makes the grab, turns, throws to 3, but it's not in time. Meanwhile, Sophia Morgan scores for the Lady Vols, and Tennessee extends its lead 2-0.
And this is the situational hitting and execution that Coach Weekly wants to see from her team. Gabby Leach doing a good job of just getting that ball into the outfield, especially when you have a speedy Morgan at third base. And Texas A&M had to know that, has to know that she has so much speed coming home. So I like the call to go ahead and try to throw at third, because you probably have a better chance of getting panel than you do Morgan.
I completely agree. That was the right call from Allie Enright in center field, going to third. She wasn't able to get the out at 3. But meanwhile, Sophia Morgan tagging up, extending the lead 2-0, and a nice sacrifice fly from Gabby Leach. That's that small ball, that execution that Coach Weekly said is going to be a huge factor this weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how. Your goal is just to get your teammate across home.
There's a smile from Coach Weekly on third base as Emma Clark steps to the plate. Clark swing and a miss for strike 1. She was 0 for 2 yesterday. One of 3 freshmen in this lineup for the Lady Vols today, out of Cleveland, North Carolina. Runners on the corners, 2 down, trying to get a 2-out rally going here. Hits this hard towards left field. It's headed foul, and it will stay foul.
Ooh, that was ripped. And you knew it off the bat, too.
You could kind of hear the fans take that big
Everyone was holding their breath on that one.
Yeah, she hit that one hard inside pitch. Now 0-2 count to Clark as she takes a moment to talk to assistant coach and hitting coach Craig Snyder in his first year with the Lady Vols, coming over to Rocky Top after 2 seasons as the head coach of Texas Tech. Takes a holistic approach, really praises and emphasizes hitter strengths.
Yeah, he really wants players to trust their swing on each and every pitch. He also really wants them to focus on pre-pitch. It's more of a mental game than it is a physical one. This is a game they've been playing since 8 years old, and Coach Craig Snyder has, I feel, done a really good job with this Tennessee team and turning them into a team that has more diversity in how they score runs and how they hit the ball.
All-around, well-rounded offense, not just that long ball, which they relied on heavily several years ago. 1-2 now to Clark, hits this towards right field. Gradual will make the catch, and that will end the inning, but not before Tennessee Lady Vols make a statement. Bottom of the first, take a 2-0 lead here in Sherry Parker Lee Stadium.
And Tennessee coming in clutch. You see Sophia Nugent scoring in a run, and then Gabby Leach with the RBI fly, and Tennessee takes the lead.
A lot on the line for Texas A&M today. Not only are they trying to get the series win over Tennessee, but they also could have a chance at winning the SEC regular season title, but they do need some help.
They're going to need a lot of help from Florida today. Now, Florida did end up losing yesterday in that extra inning game, but they had all the chances to do it. So they're going to have to beat Oklahoma twice, and Texas A&M is going to have to come up with 2 wins today.
It might be the only time that the Aggies are cheering for the Gators. You don't see that a lot. As first pitch strike comes in on Amari Harper, leading off the second inning. 5, 6, 7 in the lineup, due up for the Aggies. Harper pops this up to short. Wheeler with the first out. Already, we're seeing a lot more contact than we saw yesterday from both of these offenses.
Definitely a different approach than what we saw yesterday. Being aggressive, seeing contact. I will say we haven't seen super hard contact. I mean, we've seen some here and there, but nothing that's been super solid.
KK Dement pops up the first pitch she sees from Sage Marchetko. Dement, one of 2 freshmen in the lineup for Texas A&M, 9 total on the squad this year. Takes strike inside, brings the count 0-2.
Yeah, Coach Ford said Dement is just a special type of player. She likes to speed up the game, and she is just fast, but also a student of the game. And as a freshman, one of the biggest things she does is she takes ownership.
Drop third strike. Nugent makes the throw down to first, and it is in time. So another strikeout for Sage Marchetko, her second of the game.
And Marchetko just using that off speed, going multiple different speeds. That is such a tough thing as a hitter. When you're in that box, you kind of have to pick one of them. Do you want to go after her off speed? Do you want to go after her rise ball that has a little bit of a different spin, or her fast stuff, and go up there with a plan?
First pitch to Allie Enright comes in as a strike. Senior out of Santa Clarita, California. Rips this hard, but foul down the third baseline. The changing of speeds for Marchetko keeps hitters on their toes as Enright absolutely laces this one. Almost took off the head of our third base umpire, Phil Freed. But luckily he's okay. He's got some quick moves over there at third.
Everyone's aiming for umpires today.
There's that changeup, as you mentioned, Faith. Comes in as a ball to bring the count 1-2, but if you don't have that game plan, then you're just up there guessing.
Yeah, and that's what's so tough, especially when Marchetko gets so far ahead in these counts. We've already seen it with Texas A&M. They're swinging at balls that are out of the zone.
Ball 2 brings count 2-2, coming in at 64 miles per hour. Allie Enright was 0 for 2 yesterday. Trying to get a 2-out rally going here, top the second. Fouls it back.
That's why if I'm the Aggies right now, every time I step up to the plate, I am going to swing early. One of the first or second pitch that you see from Sage Marchetko is probably going to be her best one. After that, it's going to get a little nasty.
2-2. Change-up rolled back to Marchetko. She gets the out at 1. Gibson made it look a little more difficult than it needed to be, but an out regardless. We head to the bottom of the second, all pumped up for the Lady Vols. And then top 10 Tennessee Lady Vols coming in there, and that's big, Faith, because when you look at 2 weeks from now, the top 16 teams in the country will host regionals for postseason.
And they all want to play at home. That is the goal. You have so much more of an advantage. But Texas A&M having such a tough schedule, and they've had the #1 RPI for quite a while now, and they didn't even plan on this when they planned their schedule before the season started.
Mueller takes ball 2, and you're right, the assistant coach Jeff Harger put together the schedule for Texas A&M. He said it wasn't intentional being that tough, but he told head coach Tricia Ford it will pay off.
He looked at her and was like, don't worry about it, because she was a little worried looking at the schedule.
She told us
He's
that.
like, we'll figure out how to win, and they have.
Strike 1 for Mueller, big cut, bring the count 2-1. Mueller drew a walk yesterday, was also hit by a pitch, the bottom of the 7th, but Tennessee unable to bring her home, and also grounded out into a double play. Big cut there for strike 2. Mueller, one of 5 seniors for Tennessee, will be honored after Game 3 today for Senior Day. Second year on Rocky Top. Bounces back. Coach Weekly told us she wishes she could have Mueller for all 4 years, but started her career at MTSU and then transferred over 2 years ago.
And part of the reason with that is because when she first started here at Tennessee, she had a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and it's because she felt like she had to prove herself that she could play here in the SEC.
Grounder to Powell at third, gets the out at 1.
This year, Coach Weekly says that she's just playing a lot more free, a lot more confident. She hasn't felt like she has to prove herself, and we've even seen that with her numbers.
Makes a big difference as she worked her way into the lineup again this season. Now Ella Dodge, a freshman, 9-hole hitter today. 0 for 1 yesterday. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner from Levitt. Shows bunt, pulls back for ball 1. Coach Weekly praised Ella Dodge when we spoke in our weekly phone call with her. She said Ella's energy is one of the reasons why she made her way into the lineup.
Yeah, she says she's the Energizer Bunny. She's someone who doesn't stop talking. And that's the type of player that you need, someone that's going to keep that energy going for your team. And also, just a freshman.
Yeah, don't see that a lot.
No, you don't see that. Usually they're the quiet, the shy ones that you kind of have to bring out of their shell. But right when she stepped up, she's bringing the energy.
Coming into today, hitting .222, starting at second base. Had a nice weekend in their series against Ole Miss, 2 for 9 with a double. 2-2 pitch. Dodge grounds it right back up the middle. Base hit for the freshman Ella Dodge.
And that ball was nearly in the ground, and Ella Dodge just threw her hands at that, and got it to poke through the middle. But any way to get on base.
Great at bat from the freshman as well, and it turns the lineup around to the top as center fielder Kinsey Fiedler steps up into the box. Was hit by a pitch her last at bat and scored the first run for Tennessee. Takes ball 1 low in the dirt. Now to Kinsey Fiedler. There's the Lady Vol logos. Yesterday they were rocking the lobster outfits. Today, I think that's the original logo hat. This one hit right back at Levitt, makes the grab and gets the out at 1 for the double play. Bang, bang play from the Aggies to end the inning.
Yeah, Levitt coming up big with that stop. She didn't even see that when it was hit right back at her, but a big double play to keep Tennessee off the boards here.
Tennessee on top 2-0 over Texas A&M, top of the third. And big reason why this is a top 5 matchup. These two teams know how to battle. For Texas A&M, 15 comeback wins this season, 7th in the division. And then also Tennessee, when scoring first, 29-3. So really, I don't know, is it leaning one way or the other? It seems about even.
I think it's about even across the board on what can happen here, but Texas A&M, they just love to battle and they figure out ways to win, but Tennessee plays a lot more relaxed when they're ahead.
Eshte pops this one up to Fiedler. She'll make the grab for the first out. This is game one of our doubleheader today, but game 2 in the series. We had some weather coming in for tomorrow, so the two teams decided to push up game 3 to today. This is just the second doubleheader for Tennessee in SEC play this season. They had a doubleheader against Mississippi State, where they split that game. But for the Aggies, they're 6-0 in their 3 SEC doubleheaders this season. Pretty good.
Yeah, can't ask for any better numbers than that to go 6-0 in doubleheaders. And I say doubleheaders are so tough to play.
Mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yes, all the above.
Gradual squares around a bunt, gets it down, but Gibson gets the out at 1 as Dutch comes over to make the put out.
And Gibson doing a good job on defense, coming in super quick. You can see she's already playing up, but what a fast turn.
Well-executed bunt defense from the Lady Vols. That will bring up the top of the lineup for the Aggies as Kennedy Powell steps to the plate. 0 for 1. Had a line drive out over to Gibson. That was that first pitch of the game. Almost took Gibson's head off, but made a nice catch there. Powell has been seeing the ball well. 1 for 4 yesterday with a leadoff single. She slaps this one foul. Texas A&M is also 31-4 when Powell scores a run. She scored the winning run yesterday. So anytime their leadoff hitter gets up, their chances of getting the W rise significantly. Strike 2. Goes upstairs for the punch out. Sage Marchetko gets her 3rd strikeout with a rise ball.
And we haven't seen that pitch very often from Marchetko yet in this game, but a beautiful rise ball up out of the zone to keep the Aggies off the board.
The Tennessee Lady Vols have made 20 straight trips to the NCAA postseason tournament, 19 in a row where they have hosted the regionals, and it's looking like, once again, they will be hosting week 1 of the postseason.
Yeah, this is a team that knows how to win, knows what it's like to play in the postseason. If they're not in the postseason, it's a disappointing year for them, but this is a team that we're going to be talking about for probably the next month because I could see them in Oklahoma City.
8 trips to the Women's College World Series, looking for their 9th. Its first pitch to Sophia Morgan comes upstairs, ball 1 from Emily Levitt. There it is, the 8 Women's College World Series trips, most recently coming back in 2023. The bunt in front of the plate. Powell comes crashing, but it won't be in time. The speedy Sophia Morgan leads off with a bunt single.
Morgan is just figuring it out here as a freshman. She has so much speed, can get on base in so many different ways, and that's what Tennessee needs to do, is put pressure on the defense for Texas A&M, but what a bunt and speed down the line to get the start in this inning.
Coach Weekly moved her up in the lineup. She was towards the 6-hole hitter actually yesterday, so moved her up 4 spots to the 2-hole hitter. And whenever you have that combination of speed or that triple threat, it puts a lot of pressure on defenses. It looks like we may have a pitching change for Texas A&M, so we will introduce you to her when we come back. Stay with us. You're watching SEC Plus. Welcome back. Tennessee on top 2-0 as Emily Levitt's day is done for the Aggies. Allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk. And now the new pitcher in relief, Sydney Lessentine, just a freshman. She likes to change eye levels.
Yeah, this is someone who is going to go up and down in the zone, but also her off speed is going to be one of her best pitches. That is her bread and butter. So again, for Tennessee right now, they need to stay in their legs, watch that ball, allow it to get deep. There you see it, the rise ball and curve, and also that solid change.
Lessentine making her 17th appearance this season. Got the start this past Saturday in their game against Arkansas. Went 1 1/3 innings. As this is ripped towards Dement, gets the out at 2, and the double play. A hard shot off the bat of Taylor Panel, but the Aggies turn 2.
This defense for Texas A&M right now, helping out their pitcher, Dement, with that quick turn over to Woolley, and then Harper making that catch at first. But this defense today, we've seen it. Woolley with that dive and shortstop, Dement with that quick turn for a double play.
Aggies turned 2 yesterday. Had a nice day on defense, didn't allow a single error. As now McKenna Gibson takes first pitch strike. Now 0-2 count. You got to believe when you're a pitcher coming into the game and your defense behind you gets a double play. That feels pretty good, right?
Yeah, you feel a lot better as a pitcher when you know your defense is working. And it's also just a lot more fun.
The 0-2 to Gibson. Way outside for ball 1. Lessentine, just a freshman. 53 2/3 innings pitched coming into today. 21 walks to 67 strikeouts. Gibson fouls this back.
This is something that Coach Ford has been talking about with this freshman pitcher. For Lessentine, the biggest problem she's had is she just hasn't been super consistent, specifically in SEC play, and something she just wants to see more of so that she can trust her coming into these games. But she says future Lessentine, she goes, she's going to be dominant.
She's going to be special. Gibson takes a hack at this one, pops it up towards Powell, and she will make the grab in foul territory to end the inning. So new pitcher, she gets 2 quick outs. We head to the top of the 4th when we come back. You expect from top 5 teams, including teams that were just the #1 ranked team in the country a couple weeks ago. This is the kind of defense and offense you expect to see.
Well, we also saw this yesterday, right? Tennessee had that one error, which allowed Powell to get on base, where Coco Woolley was able to score her from there. So a game with these 2 type of teams that are just so good, any mistake can cost you.
Speaking of Coco Woolley, steps to the plate, slaps the first pitch up the middle. Mealer misses it, and that will be a hit for Coco Woolley to start the top of the 4th.
And Woolley definitely out of her hitting slump that we've seen from her, because using the ground really, really well here. And that is a tough play. Even if you do get that, I don't think you're going to get Woolley out with the type of speed she has coming down.
Would have been a tough throw from Mealer as first pitch popped up from Perez. And Nugent almost made the grab, had a hustle over from behind the plate. So Woolley, the runner on first, and Maya Perez, the hot hitter for the Aggies, hitting 3-hole today. Struck out her first at-bat. Was 2 for 3 yesterday with a double. Perez rips this hard towards center. Fiedler can't come up with it.
And you see this defense with Perez at the plate. They are playing so deep. You're going to notice Fiedler in the outfield. She has a lot of speed, so she can cover a lot of ground. That's a ball up in the zone that Perez just gets a little bit underneath. But Fiedler playing way back, nearly near the warning track.
She got to cover a ton of ground. First pitch strike for Mac Barbara. Barbara 1 for 3 yesterday. Grounded to the pitcher her first at bat. Pops this one up. Panel, calling for it. She'll make the grab for the first out. Big out for Lady Vols defense.
First baseman number 13, Amari Harper.
Harper rolls over one, but that will stay foul. As far as Sage Marjeko is concerned, she's done her job. 2 big pop-ups, one that just was too far away from fielder and center, and then a ground ball up the middle that middle infielders couldn't get a throw on.
And what I love too is this game is a big game, but what you're seeing out of Marjeko is a lot of smiles, a lot of energy with her team, and nasty changeup right there, by the way. 45 miles per hour. That is a slow hit, 20 miles per hour slower than what her fast stuff is.
0-2. Outside for ball 1 to Amari Harper.
But that's what she's going to do, is she is going to force the Aggies where they may get hits. They're going to put the ball in play, but they're not going to square her up, and that's what she's been doing today.
2-2 now. That one coming in at 64 miles per hour. Like you said, that changeup at 45 versus her fastball at 64. I mean, talk about changing speeds. That's on a completely different level.
And it's nasty. The biggest thing, too, is when it comes out of her hand, it looks exactly the same. She has the same motion. She doesn't slow up, which is what a lot of pitchers struggle with. And usually there's some giveaway. Right. It may be by how they grab the ball in their glove or anything like that, or even how they release it, but it looks so similar to her other pitches.
Harper with a shot towards Panel, makes the grab, gets the out at 3. What a play from Taylor Panel.
And Panel is stepping up today. She is back to her natural position this year. And what a snag, a hot corner, making it look easy. A quick dive, tag at the base. But what a play.
Faith, if that got by Panel, that scores potentially 2 runs.
Yeah, she just kept the Aggies off the board. But defense came to play today, both of these teams.
First pitch to KK Dement comes in at a ball. She struck out her first at bat. Still runners on first and second for the Aggies. Ball 2. It's got to feel pretty good for Taylor Panel after that tough error yesterday, end of the game, and that allowed the run. Come back today, lights out, and that's holding it down at third. This one skied towards left field. Morgan is calling for it, and she'll make the grab to end the inning. 2 runners left on. Tennessee still leads 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Texas A&M Aggies in their 3rd year under head coach Tricia Ford, and they have exceeded expectations every single year, including this season, where not only are they ranked 4th and also have the top RPI in the country, they're still eyeing an SEC regular season title on the line today.
Yeah, they're going to have to win today, and it even better their chances if they win later today in game number 3. I was about to say tomorrow, but tomorrow's game got moved to today for that doubleheader. But they still have a chance, but you can only control what you can control. And right now, that is trying to beat Tennessee. Now, this is a team also that Coach Ford says, we're not talking anything about the SEC regular season championship. The only thing we are worrying about is how to beat Tennessee, and it obviously worked for them yesterday. So they're not paying attention to the postseason.
Aggies in their best 2-year stretch since 2017-2018 seasons, as Lesson Team goes upstairs for ball 1 on Sophia Nugent. Coach Ford has done a tremendous job since she came over to College Station. Made their first Supers appearance last year, first time since 2018. Nugent skies this deep to center and right, going back. That is a home run for Sophia Nugent. Nugent, with her 12th home run of the season, extends the Tennessee lead 3-0.
Anytime that Nugent is up to bat, you can expect something unexpected to happen. She has so much power. Look at this pitch. That is up in the zone. Probably a ball that she was able to keep her hands high and extend to the deepest part of this ballpark. But what a way to get your team rallied up here in the fourth.
The senior on senior day comes up clutch, extends the lead 3-0. Her 12th home run of the season. All smiles from Sophia Nugent as she trotted around the base path. And this crowd on their feet, you can hear them now. Great day to be here on Rocky Top. It's Gabby Leach, takes a ball, even the count 1-1.
And what a way to bounce back offensively for Tennessee, because this is a team that nearly was shut out yesterday with that nearly a no-hitter, only getting one hit. And it came from a hard hit that was bobbled. So whatever the chat was before this game happened, whatever the game plan that changed with the plate approach has helped today.
2-1 count now to Gabby Leach. Take strike 2. Now, if you're Sydney Lessentine in the circle, how do you respond back?
And this is tough for her, right? She's a freshman. So having that mental mindset, knowing that you also are pitching in a spot like here at Rocky Top that has a lot of fans that are loud, it's tough to pitch in this atmosphere, but you have to be mentally strong. You have to bounce back. You have to be aggressive to these Tennessee hitters.
The payoff pitch to Leach. Hits it foul. Leach making her first start of the weekend. Had a sacrifice fly to move the runner over back in the first inning. Making her 38th start today. Takes ball 4.
And that's exactly what you don't want to do after you give up a big home run. So if I was her catcher right now, I would be walking back out there to have a chat.
By the way, we do have a change in catcher. That's Grayson Coleman behind the plate. Mac Barbara started the game behind the plate, but now Coleman, the battery mate for Lessentine. And now we have a pinch runner for the Lady Vols as Amanda Alling steps on first and will be the pinch runner for Leach. So one runner on. And now Emma Clark steps up to the plate, trying to get something going here for Tennessee, bottom of the 4th. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike 1. Clark flew out to right field her first at-bat. 0 for 2 yesterday. Evens the count 1-1. That rise coming in at 67 miles per hour. Shows bunt, pulls back for ball 2. Runner takes off for second. Allen slides in safely. Lady Vols with a runner in scoring position.
And more than anything, I think that was a protective swing. And it looks like it was a foul tip.
Looks like Allen will stay at second. Count now 2-2 to Emma Clark, but it did look like it could have been a bunt and run, swing and run. Two-two pitch outside, and that will bring count full. Hard shot to left field, but right into the glove of Eshte. Allen trots back safely to second. So now 2 down for the Aggies defense.
Yeah, you can't be upset with that type of hit.
Excuse me, 1 down. Yeah, hard contact off the bat of Clark. Now Laura Mueller to the plate for the Lady Vols. Sky towards right field. Crashing is Fragile. Comes in, makes the grab. 2 outs now. Since giving up the home run to Sophia Nugent, less than tied, despite the walk to Gabby Leach, has gotten 2 quick outs for her defense. Ella Dodge takes first pitch straight.
I feel like she's starting to settle in a little bit more in the circle. I do love the competitiveness that she's showing right now for Texas A&M. They are going to need her, especially as they continue here in postseason.
Hit hard but foul off the bat of Dodge. Dodge with a single her first at bat, hit her right back up the middle. Trying to get a 2-out rally going here for the Lady Vols. Runner in scoring position. Upstairs, ball 1. Dodge, one of 6 freshmen on the team for Tennessee this season. Part of that 4th-ranked recruiting class for the class of 2024. Lays off the Rice ball. Ball 2. Dodge hits this hard, but foul. Just a couple inches on the right side of that first baseline.
Yeah, that was a ball right in tight at the hands, and Dodge was able to stay in tight. Somehow get her hands around that one.
Amanda Allen, the runner on second. 2 down and 2-2 pitch here to Ella Dodge. Another foul ball. There's the All-American right-hander, Carlin Pickens, warming up in the bullpen. She pitched the complete game yesterday, 1-0 loss to Texas A&M. 112 pitches in game 1, warming up here on day 2.
Well, this is a must-win game for Tennessee. They want a top 4 spot as they go into the SEC tournament. So if Sage Margetto ever gets into a spot where she's struggling, I definitely think Pickens has a chance to come into this game.
Absolutely, doing everything they can to try to get the W. 2-2 pitch. Excuse me, full count, that's ball 4. So nice at bat from Ella Dodge. Battling off several pitches and then being selective with that Rice ball.
Yeah, that pitch way out of the zone from Lezentine, and Dodge was just able to lay off of it, but you could tell she turned to her team and she said, "Let's go."
There's that Energizer bunny we talked about, right? Brings the energy, a big reason why she worked her way into the lineup as a freshman. So now Ella Dodge, the runner on first, Amanda Allen on second, 2 down, and now the top of the lineup, Kinsey Fiedler to the plate. Fiedler hit by a pitch, her very first at bat, and then scored the first run. She takes strike one, then had a hard line drive out to the pitcher her last at bat. Fouls this one off. As Carlin Pickens is warming up in the bullpen, Faith, it also makes sense because we were anticipating seeing her for game 2 today, which is really game 3 of this series. Remember, game 3 is supposed to be tomorrow, got moved up because of weather, so she was always going to have to warm up most likely. Hard grounder to second. Dement makes the play. Close call, but umpire will call her out, so that will end the inning. Lady Vols leave 2 on.
And it looks like that we may actually get a replay here because I think they want to challenge this.
Saw the umpire point to top of her head, signaling. That's a tough call because it didn't look like shortstop Woolley had possession of the ball. It's a great angle by our camera crew. I'm not surprised they want to take another look at this. I couldn't tell if it was Karen Weekly that signaled for the replay or the umpire. Umpire can challenge a call at any time.
And I think I saw Coach Weekly initiate that.
You did?
Close. It's tough.
Also, second baseman Dement rolls into Ella Dodge. Ooh, here's a great look from our Hawkeye camera, and it does in fact look like
she did
Woolley
get that.
has possession in her glove before Dodge's arm gets in there. So that ruling will be upheld, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So we will go ahead and head to the top of the 5th. Tennessee still on top, 3-0. Stay with us. We're back after this. It was also tied for the single-season home run record for Arkansas.
Yeah, she's doing great over at Arkansas, and if they end up winning today, that's why Tennessee really needs this win as well, because they do want that top 4 spot.
The top 4 seeds in the SEC tournament next week get a double bye. And that is a big deal when you are playing some of the top teams in the country, as this one is grounded over to Panel and gets the out of Allie Enright. 1 down. Well, what a time to be in the SEC, right?
It's tough.
8 SEC teams in the top 10 for RPI. The chances of you playing a top 20 team next week in the tournament are high. So that's where that double bye or that single bye come in handy.
And bringing Oklahoma and Texas all into the SEC. But I also find it interesting with those 2 teams because last year they were in that championship series. They just were able to beat up on themselves, but now they're here in this conference. And these are teams that they're going to see consistently throughout the postseason.
Count now 1-1 to Kramer Eshte. Popped up her last at bat. Sage Marjeko back in the circle for Tennessee. Scattered 3 hits and 4 innings pitched. Hard shot, that will go through the left side of the field. Base hit for Kramer Eshte.
And one thing about the dirt today is there are high hops. Eshte keeping her hands inside and up high and was able to squeeze that through between 3rd and short.
Frankie Vragel now to the plate. Takes ball 1, lefty slapper. So Tennessee's defense now in slapper territory. Both corners several steps in, as well as shortstop Mealer. 1-0. That gets away from Nugent. Eshte with a free 60 feet.
You also see the shift with the outfield. It's the same thing where in center, Fiedler is shifted over to the left, as well as Savia Morgan over in left field, but then you have Emma Clark all the way towards right, and that kind of beat them yesterday, which allowed Coco Woolley to come up with that big hit.
That game-winning RBI double, top of the 7th, to give Texas A&M the 1-0 win in game 1. As Rajul fouls this one back, brings the count 3-2. Tennessee trying to even the series here. The first game of our doubleheader. Game 3 will take place roughly 45 minutes after this one. Rajul pops this up towards second. Dodge able to shield the sun, make a nice play for the second out.
You could tell that Dodge was struggling a little bit with that sun, trying to make that catch, but she did a really good job of using her glove to try to block that. You can see her sunglasses are sitting on top of her hat.
Sometimes it's a personal preference with the fielders. I didn't like the glasses, but I always had the hat, the visor. Powell pops up the first pitch. Gibson calling for it at first, and she will make the grab. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Tennessee still on top, 3-0. Season title.
And that's why a win today is huge, as well as later today. And Arkansas, they're going to play later as well. So that's why Tennessee's looking to stay in that top 4.
Lesson team goes upstairs for ball 1 to Sophia Morgan. The top 4 seeds in the SEC tournament get a double bye. That tournament kicks off next Tuesday in Athens, the home of the Bulldogs. Ball 2 to Morgan. SEC tournament will no doubt be a gauntlet, but also be good for some of the SEC teams that need some ranked wins to help their RPI for the postseason tournament the following week. 3 straight balls to Sophia Morgan. Right now, 14 of the 15 SEC softball teams have the potential to make that tournament. That would be even more than last year, 13. 4 straight balls as Morgan takes the leadoff walk.
That's why everyone just wants to play in this conference. It's so tough. Every game feels like a regional.
Yeah, both coaches told us that, Coach Ford and Coach Weekly. It's like super regional matchups every weekend.
No time off.
Taylor Panel takes ball 1. Grounded into a double play her last at-bat. Came up clutch with a single. First time through the lineup. Helped get the Lady Vols on the board to start this game. Low in the zone for ball 2. Morgan with a ton of speed, 24 stolen bases this season. This Panel takes ball 1. 24 for 31, easily the most on the team. The Tennessee Lady Vols with 68 total stolen bases this season, 16 in SEC play. Ball 3. Panel with big cut for strike 2.
And you could tell Panel was behind in that count 3-1. So she had that mindset that if that ball is where I want it, I'm going to take a hack, and that's what she did.
The payoff pitch. Panel takes strike 3 looking. Morgan, meanwhile, swipes second. So Tennessee Lady Vols 60 feet closer in scoring position, but Panel goes down looking.
And that's a big out for Lessentine. That ball just thrown off the mark there. to second base. Morgan doing a good job of getting over to second. I think the steal was on right away just because with the potential that Panel could be running down there, but
Gibson with a shot over to Powell. What a grab by the third baseman.
And what a hard hit coming from Gibson. First pitch, and she just rips it over to Powell at third, but what a snag.
That's a huge out right there because that could have scored Morgan from second easily. So now 2 down for the Aggies. Sophia Nugent, the home run hitter at the plate. Takes strike one. Nugent got a hold of one her last at-bat. Solo shot over the right center fence, her 12th home run of the season. One count now to Nugent. Hits this hard towards left field, and that one's over the fence. Sophia Nugent back-to-back bombs. Nugent with her 13th home run extends the lead for Tennessee, 5-0.
She is seeing the ball so well right now. What a way to celebrate your senior weekend here with 2 bombs out of this park. But Nugent getting all of that one. That was quick out of here. But she is hyping up her team. And Tennessee starting to break it open here.
All smiles for the senior on senior day. 2 home runs for Sophia Nugent. All the momentum with the Lady Vols as they try to even this series against Texas A&M. Lady Vol Locos loving every piece of that one. They got everyone dancing on their feet here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. A great day for senior day for the Big Orange. As Gabby Leach fouls the first pitch back. One count now for Leach. There's that lucky ducky. That made a cameo earlier in this game. Seems to be a good luck charm here on day 2. Gabby Leach takes all 3. Count now 3-1. It's a scuba diving lucky ducky. Maybe scuba diving in that Tennessee River, not too far from campus. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4.
Gabby Leach is just continuing to have better at-bats and is just getting better throughout this season. You compare her numbers from last year to this year. Last year, only batting .240. She actually didn't start a single game, mainly come in as a pinch runner or outfielder, or even in those hitting situations as a pinch hitter. But this year has started 37 and nearly 100 at-bats and having just a lot better of a season.
Will now turn to its left-handed freshman, Kate Munnerlin, in relief now for Sydney Lessentine, who went 2 2/3 innings pitched, allowing 3 earned runs. Munnerlin Only 19 2/3 innings this season, but she did pitch this last series, Game 2 Saturday against Arkansas, allowed 4 hits and 2 earned runs.
Yeah, another freshman, but also another lefty. So coming from that left side, a little bit of a change for Tennessee to see, but she's going to throw in those mid-60s. Again, another changeup type pitcher, so someone who throws a lot of off speed, going to come at it at any time in the count, but also going up and down, so that rise and drop as well.
There's Sydney Lesson team. Her day is done. 2 2/3 innings, allowing 3 earned runs and including the 2 big home runs off the bat of Sophia Nugent. So Texas A&M relying on the rest of its staff, as the first pitch to Emma Clark comes in as a strike. You mentioned the changeup, Faith. One way to keep those Tennessee hitters off balance is continuing to change speeds.
And you've noticed that's been a struggle point for Tennessee across the board, even yesterday and today, is where they struggle is seeing the changeup. They're either frozen on it or way ahead of it, but also that rise ball up out of the zone. So I think those are really key and important for these pitchers for Texas A&M.
2 strikes now on Emma Clark. So the freshman coming in and getting ahead on her first batter she faces. Outside for ball 2. Pitching staff for Texas A&M comes in with a 2.68 ERA, 4th best in the SEC. As she gets Clark looking at strike 3.
And she comes into this game and shuts down Tennessee, helps them get out of this inning. But Tennessee up 5-0 yesterday, so what a way to bounce back and get back into this.
1 for 19 in game 1 yesterday. Now already 5 hits, up 5-0. It's Coco Woolley leads things off for Texas A&M, takes ball 1. Woolley, 2 for 2 today, had the triple back in the first and then a single her last at bat. Slaps this hard towards Mealer, has to get off quick. It's not in time. Woolley beats out the throw.
That just shows you how fast Woolley is down the line, because Laura Mealer actually made that such a clean play. And you thought she got it off quick too. I thought it was a quick transition, but Woolley just so fast down to first.
It's exactly what the slapper wants to do to start off this inning. As first pitch changeup comes in as a strike to Maya Perez. Ball, even the count 1-1. Perez, just a sophomore out of Corona, California, but a ton of power, leads the team with 13 home runs, also a team leading .438 batting average coming into today. 1 for 2 on the day. Hits this hard towards right center, towards the wall. That will drop at the warning track. Woolley gets waved around third. She will come home to score. Texas A&M with its first run of the game, thanks to an RBI single from Maya Perez.
Maya Perez just having a year for Texas A&M, but a big double here that was just launched into right center field, and Fiedler actually was shifted more towards the left side. And then also Woolley being able to show off her speed, which we all knew that she had.
Perez squared that up nicely, and it looks like we may see a pitching change. Sage Margetko's day is done. We'll introduce you to the new pitcher when we come. Tennessee right-hander Sage Margetko's day is done. She went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, just 1 earned run, not a single walk, and 3 Ks, 60 pitches in total. And she will turn the ball over to the right-hander All-American Carlin Pickens, coming off the complete game performance yesterday, her 18th complete game of the season.
Yeah, she was throwing fire yesterday. She had those 10 strikeouts, and the way she was pitching But same thing for Kennedy, both of them pitching really well. They both deserve to win that game. We all know her high velocity. You're going to see a lot of speed out of her coming in the mid-70s. So very different than what you see from Margetko. That's why these two work so well together, because Margetko is mostly about her spin, her off speed, where Pickens is going to bring the heat, work her rise ball, and that's what she throws right there.
2-0 count to Mac Barbara. And Texas A&M has already seen Pickens a couple times through, so they know what adjustments they need to make based off of yesterday. As Pickens gets the outside corner for strike one.
Well, and I think this is going to be really important, especially as we go into game 3, that this is going to be a doubleheader. Pickens is coming out here right now, and Texas A&M is going to be able to see her before game 3, because I assume she's probably getting the start.
Grounder up the middle. Mueller steps on second and completes the double play. Bang, bang for the Lady Vols as they end the top of the 6th and eliminate the Texas A&M threat.
And it looks like that is 2 outs.
Excuse me, I was so excited for that double play. I got ahead of myself.
For Tennessee. But a good double play by Laura Mueller just to come in and step onto the bag. I think everyone thought it was 3 outs.
They came together so quickly. I thought they were running off for a second. Pickens goes right back, and Amari Harper, first pitch ball. It was definitely worth a second look. It was a nice double play by Mueller. Yeah, she's had a nice game at shortstop. Harper fouls this one back. So 2 outs. And as you were talking about, Faith, 2 completely different looks from Pickens and Margetko. So these Texas A&M hitters, they got to adjust very quickly, go through their mental reps on deck, and then they got to get going quick and if they want to catch up.
And it's such a difference when you've been seeing around 60, 65 miles per hour come at you. Even a 45 mile per hour changeup, and then all of a sudden you have someone that's throwing 75. That's such a tough adjustment to make. You have to start your swing earlier. That's something Coach Ford has been focusing on.
Off the bat of Harper, roller over to Mueller. Does she get it in time? The umpire says that Gibson was off the back. So Amari Harper will be safe at first.
And it did look like she did pull her foot there.
Another look at this one.
And right there, over at first base, you're always taught to take a step last second. If you notice, Gibson actually took that step forward before that ball started making her way over to first base. If she would have been able to read that the ball was a little bit offline, she would have been able to take that step to the left and I think probably get that runner.
Tough play, but now Texas A&M with a runner on first. KK Demen at the plate. Hits a hard ground ball over to Dodge. Gets the out at 1. That will be the 3rd out of the inning. Tennessee on top, 5-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Beautiful day here at the ballpark for game 2 of our 3-game series between 2nd-ranked Tennessee and 4th-ranked Texas A&M. Tennessee on top 5-1, trying to even the series after dropping game 1 yesterday. And big difference, the offense. Tennessee's bats coming alive after only getting just 1 hit yesterday.
Yeah, the biggest difference to execution in those spots where runners are put in scoring position. They did have the bases loaded earlier in this game. I think they could have taken a little bit more advantage during that time, but definitely the bats coming alive, and part of that is Sophia Nugent.
You have to mention the senior catcher, 2 home runs, including a 2-run bomb. As Mueller takes 2 quick strikes, and the lefty freshman, Kate Mutterlin, ahead in the count, 0-2. Umpire saying Mueller did not go on that one, so now 1-2 count. Another big reason why the offense struggled yesterday. You have to give credit to Texas A&M's starter, senior All-American, Emily Kennedy, as Mueller looks at strike 3. So 2 strikeouts for the freshman lefty.
Yeah, I feel like so far since Munnerlin's come in, she's done a good job of just attacking these hitters for Tennessee. Coming on that left side, if you notice, that was like a curveball coming in towards Laura Mueller, and it just froze her up.
2 quick strikeouts for Munnerlin since she came in last inning, as she throws first pitch ball to Ella Dodge. Munnerlin a lefty, Kennedy a lefty yesterday. A little bit of a struggle for these Tennessee hitters from that left side.
Yeah, it's a different look when you're up there at the plate. Also, you think about those curveballs, like right now, lefty on lefty matchup, such a tough thing to do. That pitch, it's gonna come in almost like it's going to hit you and then cross the plate.
2-0 count now to Ella Dodge. Take strike 1. Dodge 1 for 1 today. Had a single back in the second inning, right up the middle, and then drew a walk her last at bat. Has done a nice job getting on base, setting the table for Tennessee. Just a freshman, but has done a nice job in the bottom part of the lineup this season. Also a great fielder at second base. Take strike 2. Texas A&M will have to rely on its staff most likely for the rest of this game, but we may see their ace and workhorse, Emily Kennedy, back again for game 2. We'll have to wait and see. As Dodge gets a hold of this one at the wall, goes off the wall, going for second, she turns the corner, going for third, slides in, and she's safe. A big triple for the freshman Ella Dodge.
And what a big hit by Dodge. That was an inside pitch that she was just able to turn on. And you notice Raschel out in right field. That ball hits the wall hard. What you have to do here is turn and instantly be ready for that ball to bounce off the outfield. And they're gonna put this under review.
Good heads-up thinking from the freshman to try to swipe 3 after, like you said, Faith, that ball coming off so hard from the wall. That misplay allowed her to swipe the extra 60 feet.
And good base running by Dodge. Was not hesitating. Trusted Coach Weekly over there at third. Didn't even take a look back and just went for third on that. And also a great slide, too.
That's her second triple of the season. And let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And it's important to note the call on the field is safe at third. So there has to be enough evidence to overturn the call. What do you think?
That's a tough angle. I think she's safe because that tag did not happen until it hit about the thigh.
Even if the tag was at the same time, I don't think there's enough evidence to overturn it.
No. Because right there, I don't think she got the tag on yet.
It's hard to tell. Oh, here's another angle. Great job from our video replay crew. You see the ball in her glove. She goes for her chest or her shoulder.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. The runner is safe.
So Ella Dodge with her second triple of the season, looking to help Tennessee extend its lead, and the Lady Vol Locos love every second of that. You've heard them all day today.
Well, they also saw the replay, and they were all saying safe.
They might have said safe regardless of this if they could see the replay, but we'll give credit to them. Their energy has been fantastic today for this doubleheader. Hopefully they can sustain it. Kinsey Fiedler to the plate now for Tennessee. Takes first pitch ball. Fiedler, one of 5 seniors that will be honored after our second game today for Senior Day. Hits this hard to first. Harper makes the grab, makes the smart move, and goes up the baseline to tag Fiedler out.
Yes, very smart by Harper to come in, tag Fiedler as she was coming down the line, because the biggest thing is you want to watch Ella Dodge over there at third base because you don't want her to score. You are only down by 4, so you know you still do have a shot. This Texas A&M team does fight, and they can hit the ball. So you want to try to hold Tennessee as much as possible.
Sophia Morgan takes first pitch strike. Texas A&M has come back in games before, especially in SEC play. Love to battle. But Tennessee looking to extend its lead here. Takes ball outside, even to count 1-1.
And remember, too, this is a team that loves to play in doubleheaders.
Yeah, that's right.
They
6-0
haven't
in doubleheaders.
They haven't lost a game in a doubleheader game yet.
They've played 3 SEC doubleheaders, have won every single game. So, as Morgan pulls back, umpire says no, she did not go. So now 2-1 count to Sophia Morgan. Misses at that one. 2-2 count now. Hits his hard towards center, but right underneath it is Enright. That will end the inning. So despite a big triple by Ella Dodge, Aggies leave her stranded. Stay with us. We're back after this. Welcome back to Sherry Parker Lee. Tennessee leading 5-1 over Texas A&M as the Aggies are down to their final 3 outs. Alongside Faith Kane, I'm Jill Jelnick. This has been a fun one today, but it's not over yet. And certainly when you face a Texas A&M team that loves to battle, 15 comeback wins this season.
Yeah, they're a team that just can figure it out, and that's something that Coach Ford loves about this team, is that they're able to figure out how to win. But this is also a team that feeds off momentum, so they're going to need to have their hitters step up one after the other and feed off of each other.
7, 8, 9 due up for the Aggies, and they'll have to face the All-American in the circle. Carlin Pickens came in last inning after pitching the complete game yesterday. First pitch to Allie Enright is a ball upstairs. Enright 0 for 2 today. Gets a piece of this one right into the Texas A&M dugout. Hope everyone's okay over there. There's a shot off her bat. Another foul ball.
And that's one thing so different from yesterday to today right now, is I feel like Texas A&M has started to make adjustments already against Pickens. You're noticing they're putting the ball in play. They're fouling off pitches. They're timing her up a lot better. Yesterday they were behind. She kept jamming them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Carlin Pickens gets her on the changeup.
Yeah, really good off speed by Pickens, and this is a pitch that actually drops off the table last second with that off speed, and she knew it right away. Put her glove up, pointed out to Nugent. But that's how you want to start off here in the top of the 7th.
That's strikeout number 221 for Pickens. As first pitch, grounder towards Mueller. And Kramer Echte beats it out.
And that was a tough decision. You actually saw Taylor Panel where she was about to go over and make the play. It was a slow roller, and then she let it go by and let Mueller take that. And Mueller was actually playing back. And when you know Echte has a little bit of speed, you have to try to cut off that ball when it's hit into the ground. But again, a very tough spot with where it was hit is, do you want Mueller to come all the way up to get it?
Right.
And that's what she did. It just wasn't fast enough.
So just like game 1 last night, Texas A&M trying to get a rally going here, top of the 7th, down to their final 2 outs. They got a runner on last night because of an error. They were able to take advantage, capitalize in the big moment. Can they do it again for the 2nd straight day? Frankie Fragile steps to the plate. Excuse me, pinch hitter for Texas A&M. As Griffith hits one over to second, Dodge on the run, and she makes the grab.
That's what Texas A&M is going to do, is they're going to force the defense to make some plays. But Griffin, pinch hitter, coming in first pitch, hitting that ball hard on the ground. I love the effort. I love the aggressiveness from a hitter, especially a pinch hitter, when you're able to come in and time up someone like Pickens and get the ball in play.
Runner in scoring position now as Kennedy Powell swings and misses at the first pitch. This will be the 8th time that Kennedy Powell is seeing Pickens. 0 for 3 today. Hard shot to Panel, gloves it, gets the out at 1, and that will end the game. Tennessee evens the series 5-1 over Texas A&M.
Well, Tennessee's bats really starting to come alive here in game number 2, and hopefully they can carry that momentum here into game 3. But Sophia Nugent with the 2 bombs today at the plate, helping the Lady Vols, but also Sage Marjeko, great in the circle.
The right-hander going 5 innings, allowing 6 hits, just 1 earned run. She picks up the win. A crucial win is now Texas A&M and Tennessee are all tied